Hey guys, welcome to a game called Missing, a short visual novel style game made in RPG Maker in which you try to find out what happened to your missing friend. Shout out to Manly Badass Hero. I saw that he uploaded this video and it kind of reminded me of the boyfriend game, and so I was like, hey, let's give it a shot. So why is the friend missing? Well, let me tell you, the friend wouldn't have been missing if they had Bijuu my merch. Just saying. I'm very clever, aren't I? All right, let's start that new game. It's been a while since I played an RPG Maker game. What are you laughing at? I added your Polaroid to my notebook. Oh my god, you're giving me a Maury vibes right now. What the heck? Basil, is that you? I don't look good in that photo though. No, look, it's like you're preserved here in my notes forever. Isn't that cool? I guess that's a nice thought. Right, I hope we can look back on this summer in the years to come and reminisce over the good old days. Well, something tells me something's gonna go missing. I hope we stay friends forever. Your friend has been missing for over a week now. Well, that escalated very quickly. Your local police weren't getting anywhere with their search. It's a small town and missing people cases like this are rare and far in between. You guess that the lack of progress made in their investigations were due to the fact that they were ill-equipped to handle something like this. Or maybe they were just incompetent. So you decided to take matters into your own hands. Oh, don't tell me you stood in a freaking cabin in the woods. You've had your suspicions. In fact, you've been suspicious of him for a while. It wasn't based on anything concrete. He's well liked in the community and seems to be a normal guy. It was just an uncomfortable gut feeling. And so you find yourself standing outside a small house on the outskirts of town. You look down into your notebook. The plan was to enter his home under the guise of an official investigation. Yeah, well, I sure hope they didn't show that badge. It's like you get this badge from a freaking cereal carton. Yeah, they literally said, they got it off Google. This is a bad plan. You'd have to impersonate a detective, which might get you in trouble if discovered. But if all goes well, you'd be able to collect the evidence you need to find out what happened to your friend. Or maybe you were wrong. Maybe he's innocent and you're just blowing things out of proportion. All that because of a gut feeling. You look back up at the house. It's a simple one-story building and it looks quite homey. There are plants and other trinkets decorating the patio and the lawn is neatly kept. You feel a small pang of guilt for intruding on such a peaceful-looking home, but that feeling slowly morphs into a sensation of fear. There's a chill running down your spine as you approach the front door. You stand outside, shifting from one foot to the other. This is it. Should you continue, it is, oh well, I'm not gonna back out, although I will try later. You were nervous, yes, but you were also determined to seek out any clues that may help you find your friend. You quickly smoothed out the creases in your dress, making yourself look presentable. With renewed resolve, you knock on the door. There's a small shuffling noise coming from within. One moment. Should have just disguised yourself as like a salesman for like window washing fluid or something. This will keep the man right out of your windows, I promise. It's really good. See, that would have done it. You've seen him around a few times, but his strikingly unusual appearance always seems to surprise you. He looks like he conducts a train. Can I help you? His name is Crow, okay. His sudden question knocks you out of your stupor. Yes! You pull out a fake badge with a fake identity from your pocket. I'm Detective Quinn with the Border Spring Police Department. You're Crow, correct? He's like, well, I'm actually the detective of the police department. Crap! I meant like, oh no, wait, we're supposed to be the detective. I meant like head chief police. I'm the president of the police. Yo, anyone getting like Soul from Soul Eater vibes? Crow launches at your hastily made badge. For a moment, you're worried he's caught on to you, but then he gives you an affirmative smile. That's me! I'm just here to ask you a few questions in pertinence to an ongoing missing persons investigation. Do you mind if I come in? Perfect, just as you had rehearsed. His eyes, he eyes you for a moment. A missing persons investigation? You nod, your palms were beginning to feel sweaty from all the nerves. Mom's spaghetti. He stares at you thoughtfully for a moment. Then he smiles again. Oh, God.
Oh, no, he's hot!
Yo, I think I'm about to get kidnapped. He's luring me in with his anime boy face. With his soul eater face. Sure thing, detective. Come on in. Crow motions for you to enter and eagerly do so. As you step inside, he closes the door behind you. Oh, God. What kind of saw trap are we about to walk in on? Before you can have any time for yourself to look around the place, you're quickly ushered towards the guest area. Sorry for my appearance, detective. I just gotten home from work, so I haven't gotten to change yet. He motions towards his outfit and standard uniform issued to the crew members at the local train station. I knew it! I called it he worked at a train station. I'll brew up some tree... Let me brew up some tree for you. Do you have any preferences? No, anything is fine. Thanks, though. All right, I'll be back momentarily. Make yourself comfortable. You take a seat down at the table, eyes trailing after Crow as he leaves the room. This could be a good opportunity to look around. Okay, I'm gonna snoop around. Eager to take, I mean, we're here for an investigation, aren't we? Eager to take advantage of his absence, you quickly leave your seat and head towards the hallway. It's surprisingly a long hallway. The place definitely looks smaller from the outside. The lights are all off, save for a yellow glow coming from the last room in the hall. You nervously turn your, whoa, what if we find her friend? Sorry. You turn the doorstep of said room and peek inside. It's a walk-in closet. That is a nice closet. Rows of clothing, that's like, looks like Kim Kardashian's closet. What the heck? Rows of clothing are neatly hung on the closet rod. Everything is meticulously arranged by color, blue, white, and black. You walk deeper into the wardrobe a little, surprised that people actually have rooms of this size dedicated to clothing alone, and that's when you notice it. Oh my god, he's conducting more than trains. Look, there's a simple explanation for this. He also works at a slaughterhouse immediately after he goes from the train station. That's the explanation. He clearly works 2 jobs to pay for his very fancy designer clothes and his nice closet. You shakily step closer to get a better look, reaching out to pick up the piece of evidence you need. Oh god. I came to grab a new pair of gloves, but I didn't expect you to beat me to it. I don't think this is a good thing, guys. You nearly jump out of your skin at the sudden noise. Sheepishly, you turn to face Crow. He was leaning against the doorway. I expect him to have a shotgun or something. Upon your repositioning, he notices the specific article of clothing you were trying to grab. Ah, that? He smiles. I was field dressing a rabbit the other day. And don't worry, I got a license. Field dressing. Yeah, I'm guessing that's a hunting thing? It was understandable. Many residents of Border Springs participated in the hunting of wild game during the season. But despite that, you still feel chills going down your spine. No, there's no way. But why would you wear white gloves for that? Now, I'm a little uncomfortable with a young lady such as yourself going through my clothes. How about we call it a day here? I do have some matters to attend to. That is the most polite way I've seen someone to say, like, screw off ever. You nod meekly, embarrassed that he caught you at such a bad time, and you were swiftly escorted out of his home. Nah, I don't trust Crow. Oh, ending 2, empty-handed. Oh, so we gotta keep going back in his house, huh? Well, we'll be like the master of disguises and come back in dressed as a freaking, be dressed as like a Christmas caroler. It's not even Christmas. Well, we might as well see what happens when you back out. You bite your lips nervously. This was a bad idea. There's so many things that could go wrong. For all you know, he'd be completely innocent. He's completely innocent. You'd be accusing him of a crime he didn't even do and trespassing into his private property. On top of that, you definitely get into some legal trouble if you were found impersonating an authority figure. Head hanging low, you step back from the door. For a moment, your friend's smiling. Oh god, of course. We just had an anime flashback right now. You take one last look at the house and then you leave. Coward ending. Well, that's the worst ending. Well, I think our only logical choice now is to wait, right? You decide to play it safe and wait for a while reviewing old notes. You pull out your notebook and pen from inside your pockets and flip through the pages. Ah, there he was. Crow. You couldn't find much information on him. You weren't even able to find his last name. Crow Mama? His last name is Crow W. He has virtually no social media presence. He doesn't even have a Twitter. Wow. Get with the times, Crow. He's too busy conducting trains while that one guy has that one freaking camera that's all up close to his face. Oh, I kind of skipped it, but anyway, I said he was easygoing and easy to look at. Is that what it said? I don't think it said that. That's something along the lines of that. You rub your eyes in frustration. You spent the last week telling him in secret, but that was the extent of what you found. He lived such a painfully normal and boring life that you almost felt bad for the guy. But despite all that, your instincts were telling you that he was dangerous. I believe it. Like, well, he's the only character in the game, so yeah. And that's why you're here now. The train of thought is broken. You just do a pun because he conducts trains. There's running water going off in the kitchen. Well, he's washing off his gloves. Okay, let's just stay in the seat, you know? Let's just stay in the seat until, you know, the end. Unable to muster up the courage to leave your seat, you stay put in your spot, fingers nervously tapping the edge of the table. The whistling of the kettle goes off in the kitchen, and you can hear the clatter of cups and utensils as Crow prepares the tea. After a few more minutes, just don't drink the tea, fake it. He returns with a silver tray in hand. He gently sets down a piping hot cup in front of you. Sugar? I'll pass. He sits down across from me. He doesn't touch his tea. It's because it's poisoned. So what did you come for me for? Ask him out? Would you please go out with me? No, that is totally out of character. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Are you serious? Yes. Buckets of sweat are dripping down your face. Crow seems a little uncomfortable at your sudden weird behavior. I came today to ask. Crow raises his eyebrows. Ask you on a date. There's a long silence between the two of you.
What the hell?
Oh my god, dude. Okay, stop, man. Get out of my house now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not a dating sim. He does not like dating. We literally came for his Wonder Tart. All right, this time let's question him. You try to keep up your facade as a detective, asking him questions about his relationships, his personal life, his schedule, and alibi. Of course, you weren't able to pick up on any inconsistencies, and your line of questioning was inefficient and lacked substance. This back and forth goes on for about half an hour before you decide to finally cut your losses and leave. You rise from your seat, tucking away your notebook, and it's just like that? Will that be all, Detective Quinn? You sigh and give him a small nod, making your way towards the front door. Crow trails behind you, seeing you out. There's a feeling of defeat from not having gotten anything worthwhile out of this whole encounter, but you thank him for his time anyway. Glad to have been of help, Detective. You give a half-hearted nod as you walk across the front lawn. If you ever need more assistance with that investigation of yours, do feel free to come by for tea again sometimes. Petunia Flores. What? You never told him your real name. Turns out he's the investigator. You turn back to face him, but he was already gone. Playing detective. What is the bottom of this? Dang it. All right, so we need to wait the first time, and then the second time we need to check out the house. Now that it sounded like he was preoccupied with whatever he was doing in the kitchen, you decide to take your time and explore the rest of the house. So are we gonna find the gloves again? Oh, it looks like it. Oh wait, no, there was, okay, sorry, I skipped it up. I skipped a little bit, but apparently there was a floor covering. And, okay, so it's different this time. I expected it to be the same, that's why I was skipping. Oh, a trap door hidden underneath in his closet. You feel your heartbeat quicken. Cautiously, you lift up the heavy door and peer inside. Complete darkness. You take a step down, and then another. Ugh, until you reach the end. By now, your eyes have adjusted to the dim setting. There's a strange smell down here. You cover your mouth to mask the odor, but it permeates through the air regardless. And then you see it. What? A wall strewn with pictures of them. Your missing friend. Red ink is scribbled all over every photograph, proclamations of love towards them, and threats of violence towards anyone else who dared to interfere. That's why you got mad when I asked you out, dude! You should have been at least a little flattered. You back up a little at the sight. You froze. That wasn't you. It came from behind. Ah, now you've done it. I was gonna let you go, you know. Detective Quinn. Or should I say Petunia Flores? I thought that humoring you in the little game of detective might satisfy that troublesome sixth sense of yours, but I can't believe you managed to sniff this place out. A shame, really, a shame. Out of all the inconveniences in my way, you were still tolerable. To some extent. He pulls out a needle. There's a murky substance inside. I do hope you don't take this personally. I was going to let you go, really, promise. But the circumstances have changed. And well, I can't have you getting in the way of my love. Oh my god. I can't believe it got us. Missing, have you seen this girl? Well guys, what have we learned today? First, you should buy Bijuu Mike merch. That way this doesn't happen to you. And second, okay, if you ever see an anime boy with white hair, you know, like Kakashi Sensei, Soul, or any others, run away. Don't go. Don't do it. Just don't. Smash like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.